Hey, what's up everyone? How do you dial in the right amount of fertilizer for your lawn application? That is the question. In this video, I'm going to quickly show you the easiest way to calibrate and to figure out how much fertilizer you need to throw down. All you need is, hang on, a Sharpie, a bucket, a calculator, and a $10 kitchen scale that I got from Amazon. Not to mention your fertilizer, a spreader. Hey, before you try to throw down, like really the first thing you need to know is how much grass you have. Now, there's two ways you can go about this. You can actually get a tape measure and measure your lawn, or you can go to measuremylawn.com, something I did, and using GPS imagery, you can actually draw a little box around your yard and it will calculate how much square footage you have. I've done both and I came to the same answer both times. I have 2,500 square feet. So before you do anything, you have to know, don't guess, you need to know how many thousand square feet or how many units of 1,000 square feet you have, because that determines everything. Now, if you don't know about these numbers, for the sake of beginner tutorial, all you need to worry about is this number right here. Now, there's like lots of complicated math. People take in like the weight of the bag, and I've even made like Excel spreadsheets that like factor in the cost and the pounds of nitrogen, the pounds of phosphate and potash and iron, and it can get really complicated. And I've done that, and that's fine. But I want to show you the easiest way, the absolute easiest way. All you need is this to figure out how to do this. Check this out. Take a dot and do that. This means that in this bag, there's 15% of nitrogen. Now here's where it gets so easy. There's so many people online who love to get down into the weeds on this stuff, and I love to do that too. This is for people who have like never really considered how much nitrogen they're putting on their yard, okay? So this is like kindergarten, okay? What most people recommend you do is put 3/4 of a pound of nitrogen for every 1,000 square feet. Not 3/4 of a pound of product, because there's like tons of filler in this bag, but 3/4 of a pound of nitrogen evenly across every 1,000 square feet that you have. That's kind of beginner number one. Now, some people push it to a pound. I actually like to go less than that and do half a pound, but I'm not gonna get into those reasons why. But for the average homeowner who's like wanting to get into learning more about fertilizing and like dialing in the right amount at the right time, just remember 3/4 of a pound. 3/4 of a pound, that is your magic number. So we got to figure out, how do we get 3/4 of a pound of this stuff across all of our yard? And it's pretty easy. And here's where your calculator comes into play. And you can totally do this on your bag if you want. Remember I said 3/4 of a pound? We're gonna go right here so we can see. You do this equation, 0.75, 3/4 of a pound, divided by that number, 0.15. So whatever this number gives us, that will tell us how much of this product we need to put down. Aren't they pretty? Don't tell my wife I'm using her phone on my bag of fertilizer. So we want to do 3/4 of a pound, 0.75, divided by that number, 0.15, and whatever comes out here, that means 5 pounds of product will equal 3/4 in. You can put that on your bag. All right, I hope that makes sense. I know there's so many like complicated, taking this number divided by the weight of the bag and the bag rate and all this stuff, and that's fine. But what I found is all I have to do, put a dot before this number and take however many pounds I want to throw down, whether that's half a pound, 3/4 of a pound, 1/4 of a pound, doesn't matter, and just do my target pounds of in on the ground, in this case, 3/4, 0.75, divided by that decimal, 0.15, and that will give me the pounds per 1,000 of this entire product that I need to put down evenly. All right, now I'm using my wife's camera to do this. Now here's a pro tip. I've done all this math before. I keep a folder, I keep a note in here of all my fertilizer. For this Let's Go Fert, look at that. We just did 3/4 of a pound, 5 pounds of product. If I want half a pound, I know 3.3 pounds of product. If I want to throw down a pound of this product, I know 6.7. Carbon X, what I'm going to throw down today. Vintage, I know if I want half a pound, 2 pounds of product. Even my liquid stuff, I do it there. So here's the deal. I'm not great at math, But I do this once, I put it in my notes, and I'm good. Step into my office. All right, I'm gonna be throwing down Carbon X today, and I actually don't have it in the bag. I keep it in a 5-gallon bucket. So I printed off the label here, and again, look, here's the numbers here, 0.24. So I want to throw it on half a pound. So I'm gonna do 0.5 divided by 0.24, and whatever that gives me is gonna be how much product. I think it's around 2 pounds. So 0.5 divided by the number for nitrogen, 0.24. Look at that, 2 pounds. So I'm gonna remember that, half a pound divided by 0.24. And I have 2,500 square feet, so I'm gonna multiply that, 2.5. So 5.2. So I need to put 5.2 pounds of Carbon X, the total product, evenly over my entire lawn. And that will give me half a pound of nitrogen over my entire lawn, which is plenty for my zoysia. All right, now here's where this guy comes in. I'm going to use this and a small bucket, because I have a small yard. If you got a big yard, use maybe a bigger scale with a 5-gallon bucket. I'm gonna tear it out, and then I'm gonna put 5 pounds of my Carbon X in this bucket. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna take this bucket, and I'm gonna pour it into my spreader, and that is going to give me all the material I need to spread out. I don't have to guess, I don't have to wonder, am I gonna burn the lawn? I'm gonna put too much, am I not gonna put out enough? I know I am, best of my abilities, putting out half a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet evenly. It's that simple. All right, I'm not Connor Ward, so I'm going to do all of this on the concrete and not burn my lawn. If you don't know who Connor Ward is, you should. He's hilarious. The bag that I had for Carbon X tore, and so I put it in this paint bucket, and I put the label in here. It's here, 24, so here. Now, if you know lawn care on YouTube, this stuff is legendary. It's like vintage. It came out a few years ago, and the company, I think, went under, unfortunately, and so you can't even find this anymore. So this is like vintage wine. It doesn't smell like wine. As Alan Haynes says, it smells like success. It's got lots of chicken litter in there. Ooh, oh my gosh. All right, so I want 5.2 pounds of this stuff. All right, zeroed out. 12 ounces. Looky there, 5.2. Actually, I'm not sure if it's 5 pounds, 2 ounces, or 5.2, but it's close enough. All right, that is all of the fert that I need. I actually don't use Milo anymore. All right, last thing, spreader settings. You know, I've been using this like really cheap, small spreader for years. And what I figured out is, for me, in my pace, about 3.5 is good for what I do. Now, there's tons of YouTube videos about how to calibrate your spreader, how to figure all this stuff out. It's beyond the scope of this kind of beginner video. But the last thing I'd say is you want to aim to put out half of this in one pass. So I'll take this and I'll do a trim pass, go around my yard, and then I'll go, say, east and west, and aim to put half of it out. And then I'll do the other half going north and south, so that I've got kind of perpendicular pattern, and that will give me the best shot of putting an even amount down across my 2,500 square feet. And the last thing I do is I'll get the watering hose. I don't have a sprinkler system, and we live in Texas, so we don't get a whole lot of rain, and I will gently water it in, because water and heat break down fertilizer. And without those, you know, if it's not hot and it's not wet, it's just gonna sit there. So I will always try to water it in lightly after I throw down to help it begin its process of getting into the soil. Man, I really hope that was helpful. I, for a long time, would just buy fertilizer and hope for the best and throw down, and I had no clue how much I was putting down until a few years ago. I learned, thanks to the Lawn Forum and people like Alan Hayne, the Lawn Care Nut, that you want to aim for about 3/4 of a pound when you do your application. Generally 3-4 times a year, spaced out over 6 weeks. So sometimes people make it really complicated, doing all sorts of math, figuring in the bag weight and the target, pounds on the ground and the percentage. And what I found is you just put a dot right before that nitrogen number, do your do your simple equation, and that is the fastest, easiest way to get you to how much product you need to put down. Well, hey, thanks for watching. I hope this provided value to you. If it did, hit the like button and subscribe, share it with someone. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I try my best to answer every comment. Until next time, peace.